Hello everybody, Glitch Trooper here, aka the original card game for the win. It's been a while, in case you're wondering. Internet kind of had some issues temporarily. I think they're going to be fixed soon, completely, but, the fact is it's working again now when it was having issues before. And I've got a good distance to go in terms of time for this mastery set, but I have got to the end of it for a few reasons, including a couple of panic runs because of internet being in and out. But I've somehow managed still to make it to the end, and therefore, having gone through the whole mastery setup to this point, I'm now to the point where you just get infinite uncommons. That's not really that bad, because sometimes the uncommons can actually be pretty good. So, I'm now going to do my kind of traditional at the end of the set mastery, in terms of like whenever I've got like everything that will be within that set, like any again, like go say your last mythic rare from that set, for example. Card style, I mean, that's not as big of a deal. I mean, it can be if it's a really cool card style or cool sleeve or something, but usually, I mean, your last reward that's specifically of that set would be a good time to say, okay, I've got all my duplicate protection kind of built in for starting to open these packs, so that's kind of the way to kind of blend it up that way. And again, I'm kind of these days doing a more blended style between quest to win and paying in, because I like doing the pre-orders because they do include a lot for that much. It is like a lot. It is a good deal usually, at least what I find for them. And doing like both pre-orders also gets me kind of set up for things like this time they actually included some just extra play-in points. I'm not sure if I'm really going to use those per se, but of course it also gives you like sealed and draft tokens and stuff, and that's also really good because some of those events can come in really handy for more than one reason, especially building your set. And sometimes just the extra gems you get from them can be useful in case there's something you want to spend them on. There's a few things I did this round. So, yeah, although you can see my gold is building up again, but that's because I want to buy out that set that's the Explorer Anthology 2, because that looks like it's pretty sweet on that one. I'll maybe go over that after I'm done doing this run here. But let's open up the 50 packs you start with. Now, there was a few others that started with called golden packs that they're doing something different this time. It's kind of a little splattered all over the place as to what they do. So it's not the same as guaranteeing a mythic from the set like a mythic pack. I kind of favor those a little better. Kind of a little weird with how they're doing the golden packs. I don't know how that's going to go, but I like the idea of being able to get mythic packs. Because sometimes hunting down those mythic rares, it can come down to that. At least it was for a while. They've got other ways of doing it now, like you can buy a certain limited number of times you can buy sets of wild cards. But, I don't know. I mean, unless it was like semi-unlimited, I mean, would you really be able to fill out all the sets if you only have like a limited number of times you can do that? I don't think so. So, I mean, it's a thought if it comes down to me really needing a few things, but I find opening just absolute tons of packs does pretty good progress towards that. So doing the pre-orders to also get your 50 packs for a big reserve really helps. So without any further ado, let's say a fond farewell to the battles of the Brothers' War. It's a spider. It's a Thrawn spider. Now here's a weird glitch that I don't know if it's my settings, because I don't have it affect anything else, but if I have a card, it's just the right part of the screen. It cuts it off specifically on the left side. Yeah, that's a very bizarre thing, but it does that. So just saying, you might see a bit of that whenever I'm going at that exact position, which has to be like exactly that card. Like again, like it won't do it whenever you're not actually viewing an actual card. But okay, that was a weird time for a mythic rare to show up, because it absolutely blasted that example. It's like, oh, here, just have a random mythic rare. Thank you. I do need them for some stuff, including possibly finishing out the set. And possibly the retro artifacts, because I have a few of those I still need to grab to Mythic Rare. Okay, now it's actually going on the other side. Okay, you're just trying to dodge me confirming this as a repeatable glitch that anyone could report. Me also being Glitch Reaper, that's kind of a little weird. I finally got the Scrapwork Rager. I don't consider it as big of a deal as most people would, but it's there. And it was one that... it's just a common, so it's easy to just throw a wild card at it if you need to. Underground River, it's what they call a pain land, kind of. I'm not really... or shock land, kind of. Or is it shock land or pain land? Whenever it deals damage to you every time that you get the colored mana of their types there. But I'm just not as into those as I am some other kinds of lands. But that's me. And some people are very willing to blow their life points away on land. Okay, so we have Hercule. Big part of the story. It's funny how this does mean that I'm technically getting that not as a first. Because I've already got it from another set. Now that can be... annoying. That is, that one is definitely one of the classic white annoyance cards. Hello. I'm pretty sure that's my 4th Steel Seraph. I'm pretty sure. Which means if I keep getting that over and over, I'll start getting gems again. This is actually a pretty interesting prototype card, because you get it's one of those very rare artifact angels, and you can get your turn of one of those abilities to creature control, possibly including itself, but otherwise just the fact that you have a artificial angel on your side. I mean, when you really need one, why not make one if you're an artificer? So yeah, I see the point. Okay, now it's doing the clipping thing. Is it mainly doing it whenever it has extended things, like if it's doing like transforms into, conjures, makes a token, just anything on the right? Is that specifically that? Is it more specific than it just being at that part of the screen? I kind of feel like it is. Hello, Teferi. Nice to see you again. Ooh. That one's just crazy. It is not that you will go mad, it is that you will beg for madness. It's quite a quote there. It just make me crazy, so I'm not worried about this. That's interesting mental strategy there. Mythic Rare over there. Nice. You'd be surprised how many times I've basically got Black Blade Reforged. Hello, just straight up rare wild card. I will probably be using you at some point in the future. Yeah, see, this makes a token, it's doing that same thing. Because it has to show it to the side, so it's sitting the whole thing there and it's squeezing it off to the left. Urza's, yeah, because it makes power stones. There you go. Okay, Urza's command. It does all sorts of things, and you get to pick 2. So, yeah, that's a good one. Sculpting Steel. There was this was actually a premiere card in Mythic form for getting a really humongous bundle of Kaladesh Remastered. And now here it is as a rare in Retro Artifacts, and I've gotten it at least twice. I love the quote, though. An artificer once dropped one in a vault full of coins. She has yet to find it. It's like, yeah, this is an artifact that becomes pretty much any other artifact. It's like any other artifact on the battlefield, doesn't matter if it's yours or theirs, just like, here it is, suddenly it's a copy of that other artifact. So it's like, it just mimics whatever you want it to. So it's like, yeah, it just sculpts itself. You don't need to sculpt it, you just say, hey, look like that, and it's like, okay. The Mind Breaker again. I saw that, I clicked off to the side and it zipped. Ooh. Ouch. It's always interesting whenever dragons think of war is not sides, but side dishes. Because dragons. Liberator. We have a Battlethopter. It's funny, I used to keep saying Thropter. At least in my head. I don't know. I'm trying to keep it softer. Might Stone and Weak Stone. That goes with the fact I got Urza again, so... Okay. And it's just the two power stones that formed the perfect one. The one that Urza and Mishra broke to initiate the rivalry that really ran into the war. So that's like a big plot point right there. Yeah, this thing is, if you ever manage to pull that off, ouch. I mean, that's one way to really say goodbye, sir. The battalion is here. They've got beams. They definitely have beams. Urza got really advanced real fast, and so did Mishra. They really upped the ante in their in the war that's been not only called the Brothers' War, but also called the Antiquities' War because of all the artifacts they unleashed. Okay, just give me two of the things I was looking for in one shot. Lauren of the Third Path, and the Gurgling Anointer. It's weird that this whole time until now I hadn't got that uncommon until right now. It's funny how sometimes looking for the little ones is actually harder than looking for the big ones. But, of course, we have wild cards for that. But still, it finally showed up. I tried to quest in, but that one had been evading me until this moment. So it shows that is, in fact, good camera luck. Perilous Vault. Yeah, this is called Goodbye Just About Everything. You unleash that thing, stuff is going poof. Very good going poof. Also, the hulking metamorphosis is cool. Okay. Hadn't got her until recently, and I get her twice in a row. Okay, so that's interesting odds. Ooh, the Quicksilver Amulet. I had been very much wanting to get this. For so many reasons. I mean, it's not a green, but it is put creature from your hand onto the battlefield with this thing, so yeah. So, yeah, this just lets your creatures just go wild, regardless of how expensive they are. Also, that avoids them being countered, because that counts as an ability, not as casting a spell. Takasia welcomes that. That just led into itself. Okay, got Urza's command just standing over here. The sculpting steel reveals itself yet again. This time, it's like the quotes flip to the other side of the screen. I don't know what determines that, but it just is. It's just noticing. Sword of the Meek. Kind of interesting. A meek little thing shows up. You get to just pop the Sword of the Meek onto it, if it's in the graveyard, specifically. But, I mean, that's a thing. I could see that being useful in some situations. Hello, Mishra. You have returned to squeeze the left side of the screen completely away. And also wreck everything, because it's what you do. You are a wrecking machine, especially fully melded. That's gonna be an event. Mainly because it almost was an event. Diabolic intent. Yeah. Basically, pay just a bit. You pay 1 generic, 1 black, and sack a creature. And then you get to search your library for a card and put it into your hand. So this is basically a tutor card where sacking a creature is part of the cost. And that makes it way cheaper to unleash in a lot of situations. And you might also get death triggers off that. So, yeah, this could be very useful in a lot of situations. Also, the sheer power of Gix just going in and savoring the experience of draining people's minds is just like, yeah, that's definitely diabolic intent. Boom. This is what caused the Ice Age. Yeah, Urza, you did that. We know it. It was something that happened. He became Planeswalker, broke the multiverse, and of course plunged Dominaria into an Ice Age. So that all happened. That can cause such incredible wackiness. This is a very interesting land, just saying. Because enters the battlefield, you may reveal a soldier card from your hand. And enters the battlefield tapped unless you reveal the soldier card this way, or you already control it. But basically, it lets you choose white or blue anytime you tap it for mana, so nice. And very flavorful because Urza's primary colors are white and blue, so yeah. Also has the ability to empower all your soldiers at once. Somewhat pricey, but anytime you have any special ability on a land, it's a lot harder to dig around. So it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna pump everything up for a turn here. Funny how that showed up. Okay. Yeah, big honking Sundering Titan shows up. A giant golem that just wrecks everything other than just a few lands. So it's like, yeah, you're going to... yeah. It's just wrecking lands, basically. But it is, like, up to 3, really, when you think about it. Well, no, it's really up to 5 when you think about it. You basically choose a land of each basic land type and destroy them. So you can wreck up to 5. So yeah, it's big. It's hard to get rid of because it's humongous, but still, it certainly has a dramatic entry. Visions of Phyrexia. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that Mishra is experiencing. And yet he still went there. Transmogran's Crown. Oh, the disasters that were caused by those Transmogrants. And now they're in the set, so we can experience the history of artifact creatures of which are zombies. So yeah. Pike. The pike. I mean, it looks more like a sword to me. It's got like an interesting orientation, but I suppose you could, yeah, say it's a pike that just doesn't. That's supposed to shaft off screen of that card there. The only time you can just equip fencing first strike is usually good. Oh, King Metamorph is showing up again. Hello again, Hercule. Yeah, there's like, what's going on? Poof. Remember, this is from when they didn't fully understand magic in that world. So it's like, yeah, it's like, what are they doing? Ow. Oh, hello, straight up mythic rare. Nice. I'm gonna enjoy that. They're giving Avenger. Urza and his marvelous shape-shifting machines. I mean, this guy could literally have invented the Transformers. Just saying. Ooh, Awaken the Woods. This one is absolutely wild. Basically, for 2 green plus X generic mana, just create X 1/1 green forest dryad land creature tokens. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, just make forest creatures show up out of nowhere. Oh gosh, the shenanigans with this is absolutely hilarious. Because you know, of course, technically because they're land creatures, you can trigger landfall however many times you pay for X. So, yeah, that's a thing. I know some armor is forged, some is forested is a good quote, but it's not the best one for Blanchwood armor. It's a good reprint, but I like one of the earlier versions better. It's just saying. As if Liberator just wants to say, I agree. How am I getting more of these versions of Mishra and Urza, and I'm not getting the rare ones in between yet? It's kind of hilarious. I feel like I'm going to be throwing some of my rares at that, just because of that whole situation. See, there's Mishra's command, but that's not Mishra himself, in terms of his rare one, because I'm still missing Mishra as Tamer Makfawa, and Urza as Prince of Krug. So, yeah. Still got some packs to go, though, so we'll see. Play champion. It's like, yeah, you got this really pumped up clay soldier, basically. I mean, it's considered more of a construct, but it's basically a clay soldier that's pumped up on white and green, so yeah. The dragons are definitely coming. You know, it makes me wonder, if we get enough retro cards in from here and there, would I be able to recreate some of my old decks that used to use Sigil of Valor a lot? The ones I did from Magic Duels, because that would be kind of a thing now that that's back, so there's a thought. Brushland. Yeah, I wasn't really intending on paying a rare for that if I could avoid it, so thanks for showing up on your own. Cloud Key. That one's interesting because you can choose a card type out of those and make them cheaper. So, not an additional effect to that, but just making anything of those types cheaper is great. And that is, of course, a rare out of the retro artifact, so that's really cool. Musical sound of its turning triggers the tumblers of revelation. I mean, could they had something else about, like, the fact that you basically contain a weather phenomena inside your key? Hello, straight rare wildcard. Happy to have you. Also, the cloud key is really pretty cool. The autonomous assembler. This can power up itself or other assembly workers, just saying. So, yeah, that could get pretty large and in charge after a while if you keep going with that round around. Also, it is assembling more assembly workers. I mean, you can clearly see it's just shoving in the power stone at the time. So it's like, yeah, I'm just activating this in its power core. I got the cloud key, and now I got the key to the city. I'm just getting keys all over the place. I'm just saying that it's like, yeah, it's just like, it's just throwing me keys. Is there a keychain that I'm going to be getting eventually? I'm just wondering. Crafton, founder of Vietnam. Okay. That thing about returning them to your hand and then copying them is kind of hilarious. Yeah, that is definitely a thing you can do with Drafna, founder of Vietnam. I wonder just how much advisors there is now. Lodestone Golem. Non-artifact spells are more expensive. You can kind of use that to blockade things. It's just a big, bulky golem that makes non-artifacts more expensive. I saw that lag from almost going calculating. Hello again, Ashnod. It's been a while since I've seen you here. They actually did like a special set of brawl decks a while back, and she was an interesting commander because of that ability. Because she's cheap to play, she's got Death Touch, and you can also make lots of power stones by sacking creatures, especially when black has a lot of creatures that can bring themselves back from the graveyard. So you can kind of keep doing that until you can pay for humongous artifacts and abilities. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of how you build up with Ashad. It's hilarious how this is not my first one out of the retro artifacts specifically. It's like seriously? The blast zone. Yeah, this could be a very explosive event. Yeah, that can wreck things, so yeah. This one can let you fetch lands for quite some time, so basic lands, yeah, only. But that also counts snow lands that are basic, so yeah. I mean, you can just kind of keep grabbing basic lands, so that's an interesting artifact. It's like, yeah, let's just keep charging up our lands, so yeah, that's a thing to do. And it's not green, so you can play it in other decks too. Straight rare wildcard. Okay, now there is going to be a number of them I'm going to want to hold back on for Phyrexia All Will Be One, which is upcoming, because it's going to be a wacky one. It's also crazy how this is not my first portal to Phyrexia, speaking of which. So, yeah, this thing absolutely wrecks stuff. I mean, the opponent has to sack 3 creatures when it comes into the battlefield, and that's each opponent, and then after that, at the beginning of your upkeep, you could keep getting creatures from graveyards that aren't even necessarily yours. So you could be taking those creatures, and they become Phyrexians. Like, this just, like, makes Phyrexians. It's literally a Phyrexian factory, even though it's considered a portal. So, yeah, it's like, let's just have the Phyrexians invade just because you have this one thing. Now, this is expensive, but that's what all those power stones are for. Yeah. I think I have my entire allotment of Urza and Mishra on their mythic forms now. At least this is his uncommon form. His excavation prodigy. He got Urza's along here too. And Visions of Vibration. So let's see how I did in the collecting part. Okay, so you kind of know a bit of the drill. I kind of just click on everything to get the new off and then review what I've got left to grab. Some of these I am already maxed out on. Yeah, I knew that I was maxing out on those. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that happened quickly. Okay, finally got to the things that I already have had for quite some time. So let's see, how much more do I need out of the Brothers War? That hit a few of my remaining ones there. So I got close. Yeah, the Surge Engine, Draconic Destiny, Sealy Filigree Master, the Serenth Great Worm. They're all still standing after that whole thing. Okay, that all went down. Okay. Do I have enough to collect the Thrawn Power Suit withstood the whole thing. It being what, and so did the Haywire Might. Those two uncommons just decided to say, "Hey, we're just hanging out here regardless." They completely denied everything. Okay, that happened. Now, how many would it take here? Like, can I get everything if I really want to? Let me see. I've got 12 rare. Also, let me just pop these out of the way while I can. Thread Power Suit definitely is good for equipped decks, so yeah. Okay, now I can concentrate between the fact I only have like 3 rares on the other page. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay. That would be really close. That would be really close. Okay. And I do have just enough mythics. But I don't need some of these as immediately as others. So I'm going to have to think if I really want to head off the set now or do that more later. Meanwhile, let me check the retro artifacts and see how they're doing. I mean, I definitely want Draconic Destiny for various reasons. Now, this one's kind of an interesting story. Because some of these are technically ones that I have from other sets. That one I don't think I do. This one is kind of new to me too. The Scrap Trawler, this one is actually, I think, the one that's also in Kaladesh. I think I may already have it. Revoker is special, but you can't use it in Historic Brawl. Defense Grid is interesting. As it definitely makes things tricky to be throwing instants at you. Okay, so I actually got pretty close on retro artifacts too, so that's interesting. This one has fewer of them actually than Brothers War, which I did not see it turning out that way. Okay, that went a little differently there. So that's the thing, that I actually collected more of these. Okay, okay. That's interesting, because I could take out some of these pretty easily, and still have some rares for later things, because I'd like to keep some on reserve for reasons. Oop, I think I actually really meant to go back into the thing, because I do want to get one of them off the bat, though. Because I have plans for one of them, and there's a chance I'm not going to get it for quite some time unless I do this. And some of the others can kind of wait, but... let me see here. The other things are interesting. But, of course, the real thing I want to grab here out of the Mythics is Draconic Destiny. I mean, it's been a long time since I had a Destiny aura. I mean, it's been like 10 years since they had put out, or maybe more years. It might be more than 10 years, maybe more or less 10 years since they put out Angelic Destiny. Ish, somewhere around that time. And so they are pretty cool. And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and show why. I'm gonna show why. Because I gotta admit, one of my favorite formats is Historic Brawl. And you can see I've got a theme going here with red things that resurrect themselves, or other things that get resurrected. So now, what do I want to put over that for it? Because that would be something. I mean, this one, interesting, yeah. I mean, he's also self-resurrecting with a little bit of something, but, let me see. What do I want to zip around for it? I mean, it is actually a very cheap aura by comparison. Now, maybe... might take out the fiery tomb. Maybe. That might be the one I go with. Is replacing. Got some other burns in there. Then I might pop that in, because it is interesting how it came out in this cycle. So, yeah, coming out in the Brothers War that way has been interesting that it popped up. Because they did have a thing for, over the story of Urza, him having dealings with dragons over time, so I can kind of see the connection there. I mean, is Madness really resurrecting the card? Not exactly. But that definitely is. So, yeah. I'd say I've got that set up there. Yeah, I am aware that I cannot put things in my sideboard in Brawl. And that I'm using the Learn thing to retrieve the Phoenix. So, yeah, also they have other good effects on those cards anyhow, so it's not like it's that bad to have to discard. Also, a lot of these things resurrect when they're in the graveyard, so it actually kind of feeds on itself that way, so yeah, there's that. Now, at some point soon, I'm going to be doing kind of a thing on Universal Tribal. I'm going to have to get back to that, because my internet disrupted me when I was trying to assemble that the first time, so yeah, that was a thing. But now that it seems to be working well enough to do something like this, then certainly I should be able to get that done soon. Okay, so round 2 on that soon then. For now, I'm going to be logging off. Hope to hear from you all later. And, of course, remember, MTG forever.